Okay, we're on to the next one. So, we're just documenting my life here. It's one tutorial at a time. All right, so we've got this image, and we are going to open that with Adobe Photoshop. And we have a slightly cleaner version of the dog that we were working with. I think I put it in my downloads folder. Let me cut it out of there and put it in my redrawings folder. Oh, there's my bulldogs folder. Perfect. Awesome. And then I'm just going to pull this in. And, actually I'm going to escape out of that. First thing I need to do, no, don't place any additional files. Cancel. All right, the first thing I need to do is look at my image size. So this is 808 by 562. So, just driving the point home. It's suitable to be printed about, almost 3 inches wide, except it's got the white space on the both sides of it and the top and the bottom. So it's going to print less than that. If we cropped it down to demonstrate that, if we crop this down to like the size where, it's only going to print that much, or at least it's going to print all of this. Actually, if you upload this, it's going to print all of this, including that background, and that's what we don't want. So we're going to do this again in Inkscape. But first, we've got to get the dog, set up. So we're in Photoshop, and we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and expand this to 1500. Just so we have. It's not perfect. The dog's not going to be perfect. But I'm just going to use this to be my reference point. So I'm going to bring the dog in. There's the dog. And when you drag something in like that in Photoshop and you hit enter, it actually converts it to a smart object. And smart objects are really wonderful because when you change the size, even though it's not going to make more pixels that aren't there, it will at least create something where it preserves the pixels that are there. That's what a smart object is it preserves the pixels that you were given. And so at least you're doing the best you can with what you were given, But if you want to edit it, like in this case, we don't have that white outline. So you're going to actually have to go into the object, into the smart object, which is what I did by double clicking. And then I can just go ahead and select that white outline, and we can just get rid of that. So we've just got that selected with our magic wand tool, and we're just going to hit delete, and then Control D to deselect, and then you Control S to save. And then when you come back to your original document, that'll be gone. That's how you work with smart objects. All right, so now we're just going to position it. So let's make it big. I'm going to hold Shift to constrain the proportions so that I don't stretch it out. And it looks like it is going to get a little stretched out from the one I have here. But I'm just going to try to get it as close as I can. And something like that. When you're working with somebody else's artwork, you want to be really respectful and just make sure you don't, that you don't take your own creative license. I guess is the best way to say it. Looks like I can pull this up a little bit. I'm just free forming it now. I'm not holding Shift to try to line up and get as close as I can to the original. And we'll just, that's about as good as I think I can do. I'm using the arrow keys to kind of fine tune it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and grab this. Now that I've got it sized, I really just kind of need the pixels to be free. So I'm just going to go ahead and rasterize this layer. And then I'm going to grab this red. Let's turn that off. Let's grab this red. And then I'm going to cut that out of my bulldog. So I'm going to duplicate this layer. And that's a great way to do that. Go ahead and then I can convert that back to a smart object. And that way, things it won't ever get messed up. And then I'm going to delete from this one just that line. And then we're just going to see, yeah, it looks like I should have gone a little bit more down. So I'm going to Control Z that, Control Z, and let's just move this guy a little more down. I'm zooming out with Control plus and Control minus. Nope. Control D to deselect, Control T to transform, I'm just going to move him a little more down and scoot him over just a little bit and hit enter. And then I'm going to do select, reselect. No, I guess I've got to hide him and cut that. I really think that's really cute the way that worked out there. And then we're just going to hit delete on our dog here. Control D. And now, yeah, it's still not perfect. So yeah, let me just, I'll show you another trick. Let me Control Z that so I can get back to our guy. Control D to deselect. So I'm just going to make him transparent. I'm going to take the opacity down. It's going to look like he's fuzzy, but then I'm going to fix it by, you know, I'm just going to use that to like help line up so that I get it exactly right. So let's just stretch him out a little more. And now that he's transparent, you know, I can just line it up a little better. I'm going to confirm that. Yeah, I think that's about, you know, as they say, it's close enough. It's going to be just fine. All right, so now he's there. And then we're going to bring him back up to full opacity. And then we're going to do the same trick. We'll just hide that, select this, come back up here. And all I'm doing is just trying to find that perfect place to cut him off at. So we'll just cut him off there, Control D. Now I'm going to do my image canvas size, and I'm going to just go way out, make it big so I've got room to work. And I can see everything. So he was hiding back there. And I'm going to turn off these other layers. And then I'm just going to put my, you know, I've got my marquee selection tool. I'm just going to delete the rest of this. Boop. So now I've got my shifty looking dog. It looks great. So I'm just going to do the same thing. We're just going to trim it. Trim, transparent pixels, file, export. Quick export as PNG, and I'm going to export it back into my working folder, and I'm going to call it Bulldog Cut Off. Awesome. And then, you know, that's our original, so we're going to need that. We're going to go back into Inkscape. You know, why not do it all in Photoshop? I mean, the only reason is because, you know, vector is better, and you know, I can keep, I mean, vector is perfection versus you know, Photoshop is still working with pixels, and you know, the difference between vector and pixels is vector is just curves, so it's absolute perfection. It's, you know, it's not pixels, so that's not very technical description there, but that is what it is. So now let's just grab this dog. We're going to pull him in here. We're going to embed him. And embed is good because it's going to travel with the file. You know, if I link it, that's not going to travel with the file. So that the link will not go with you. And I probably can make him just a little bit bigger, and that way I can hide him behind the line exactly. And I'm going to do... we're going to do our align and distribute. We're going to make it align to the page. Let's see, I'll just scoop this over to match it so everything looks okay. All right, and then we're going to draw our boxes. Actually, let's see if we can just open the other one that we did earlier in the last tutorial. And maybe we can just bring this box in and save ourselves a little work. So Control C. For copy, and then Control V, and that way we've got some consistency running through our documents here, and we'll just size that up. You know, I know that the colors are a little different. I'm going to go with it and just say that's it's better because it feels like this is all one project. So I think staying with a consistent color is good. And that might just be a trick of my eyes anyway. So I'm just going to try to stay consistent. And you know, I just stretch it past where it needs to go and then come back. So that's past and then come back. And I'm seeing a little bit of stroke. You know, I'm going to definitely get with the client, show them what I've done. So I'm not gonna stress about that. I do see a little black stroke around that, and I'm not sure if this is going to be up to snuff or not. But again, you know, you ask your client, that's the best thing you can do. So I'm going to control and drag and leave that. You know, when you're dealing with these JPEGs images or all these, you know, not perfect artwork, it's really hard to tell, you know, whether that's just an artifact or if that's actually, you know, was an intentional thing. So we're going to do the Sego print. That's what we've got for the font. I don't want bold. I wonder if that was a problem on that last one. I'm just going to choose here, Ferris. Come on, let's make it a little smaller so we're not struggling with that. Let's go back to our text and font. And let's make this, let's do 100 first. Okay, that's pretty good. And it looks like it's pretty squished. We'll just go ahead and start squishing it and get it into the right mold here. So Ferris state. I'm probably going to keep those as separate objects just so I can line them up easier. I can't tell if that space is exactly right. You know, let's just line this up. Lots of squish in there. Close enough. We're getting there. Maybe go up a little bit. We're just squishing away on this text until it fits in the hole. Okay, that's perfect. Awesome. And then we're going to do our fill and stroke. And our fill is this pretty gray. And our stroke is, looks like black to me, but we're going to pick it. Yep, it's black. And then stroke style, I'm going to switch this to PX, and we're just going to bump it out until it matches. I'm looking for that faded part. Oh, it's going in and out. So I got to change the order. So I really want what I want. I want my fill and then my stroke. So I want to put it behind. Let's see. I don't see that working. Fill, stroke, marker. No, stroke, fill, markers. Okay, yeah, the order comes from the back to the front. So, all right, so that's that. And then my stroke style, I'm going to keep going out with it until I stop seeing that pixelated part. That's right about right. I mean, that looks good to me. So we'll take that, and then we're just going to copy and Control-Alt-V. That's pasting it right in place, and then I'm going to hold Control and drag. And then we should be able to just type state. And that worked out pretty perfectly. I'm going to use my arrow keys, and I'm just going right. I'm not going to go up and down. I'm going to keep consistency here. And then here we go with university. Well, no, we want to copy because we want to keep the same font style with it all squished consistently. And then we're just going to do this and type out university. And then I'm just going to scoot this over. I'm holding Control. So I'm confident those are all pretty well lined up. Yep, looks like the right spacing. Oops, I just want to grab, I don't want to grab that. Unclick, click on the alphabet. All right, look, go away. How about that? No, come back, come back. It's locking up, it's because I'm recording too, hang on. Oh, I think I tricked myself. One of the times I must have copied or pasted, Yeah, I don't have 2 copies. So I'm holding shift when I do that to try to like move it. So one of these times when I copied it, you all probably saw it and I didn't. I didn't copy it. So what is that? Ferris. Boom. And then I'm just using my arrow keys and that's good enough. All right, so let's grab all 3 of these guys. And then I'm going to group them, Control G. And I'm just doing that so I can align and distribute it to the page. And it was already perfect. Okay, so now I can just get rid of this background image. And there I have it. You know, turn on our checkerboard. So we have that artwork recreated. And the dog's not perfect. I mean, our source artwork was not perfect on the dog. And that's, you know, that's not something that I'm going to cover in this tutorial. I mean, we could redraw the dog. It's not that hard either. I don't want to scare you with that. I mean, that's really not something that's that big of a deal. But it's probably outside of the scope of what I should do to try to fix this this artwork for the customer. So I'm just going to go ahead. Yeah, I had what I wanted open. Document properties. I don't have anything selected. I'm changing to pixels. That's my friend telling me that lunch is here. I'm going to resize. Wow, they're very insistent. And then I'm going to just save this as, and I'm going to call this Ferris State University and save it. And then I'm going to go ahead and export it. Like I said, you know, I've got the SVG saved. I'm going to send them the SVG. But I'm also, yeah, no, that's not right. Like, here we go, export. We're also going to just export it as a PNG because that's what it is. It's got a PNG inside it. It's got a bitmap. It needs to be, saved as a PNG just to not trick anybody. So we'll save that. And then we're going to look at the size. Oh, yeah, we don't need it that big. Let's make it 3600. You know, I'm a little nervous. I see some of this like hanging off. I don't know if you all can see that. I see that the stroke wasn't considered when Inkscape resized the document. So I'm just going to fix that. Let's see, File, Document Properties. We actually want the height to be bigger. I wonder if I actually selected all this and then resized. No, it is missing the stroke. So I'm just gonna increase this manually. Increase the height. And it looks like it's adding space at the bottom and not moving the rest of it. So I'm just gonna bump this down and get it on there, and then probably take some of that height off. So let's just zoom in here. Okay, that's good. And then let's look down here. I mean, Inkscape is lovely software. I'm not going to even make a comment. I was about to say, you know, it's free, you get what you pay for, but I mean, I actually prefer Inkscape to everything else that's out there. Okay, so now I've got something good. I've got my export, and now I'm going to export it. I'm going to just go peek at it real quick and make sure that it looks good. It still looks cut off at the top. I mean, I'm seeing that right there. It's still cut off at the top. So let's just see. I don't see that here. Let's increase the height a little bit. We're going to move it down just a little bit. Give ourselves some room. Let's give ourselves a little breathing room. I really don't like white space. You know, white space in general is just... Oh, I'm just adjusting the image size there. That's probably what our problem is. Let's see. Document properties. Let's just bring this width up. And let's bring this height up. And I'm going to select everything. I'm going to group everything. And then I'm going to pull up in my align and distribute. And assign it to the page and vertically and horizontally. Don't like white space. Also don't like things to get cut off. So... hopefully this will clean that up. Yeah, replace it. Don't trust it till you see it. Still looks funny to me. There's something going on with it cutting off. So Inkscape's having like a little bit of a problem because it's not doing what I expect it to. So I'm just going to save it. We'll save it right here. I'm going to stick, keep recording and just get this all right, hopefully. We'll just open Inkscape back up. We've been playing with it a lot. It looks good here. So if I export, oh, look at this. Export area is drawing. So glad I stuck that out. It's page. We want page. So we'll just export the page, not the drawing, because it is not reading that stroke and adding it as part of it. And now I think we're going to see that it's right. All right, so it was operator error. So that's about the best we can do with these. That's taking you through, getting this done. And I hope it helps. Have a great day.